Okay, hi Abhinav.
Hi, sir.
So today we will cover about the EC2 section and then your load balancer. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so we will start with the EC2 instance. Okay, because last time
Yeah.
at the first session one we already covered lots of things there. So now like introduction part and all, so that we will not repeat for this session. So we can directly start with the EC2 instance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when we talk about the EC2 instance, so we know like we normally in the traditional way we work as a VMware or any hardware machine where we install EC2 instance like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
VMware for the any website hosting or something. So similar way in EC2 instance, can you please explain like what is the EC2, Amazon EC2 instance and what are the use cases?
Yes. So Amazon EC2 instance is a elastic cloud computing, which is used to make the web service, uh, which provide the Amazon EC2 is a elastic cloud computing is used for is work means makes which provides the web service realizable cloud computing and uh, it is designed to make the baseband cloud computing easier for the developers. And the features of EC2 is first one is elasticity, and after then there will be the security purpose also. After then the key features are like first one is elasticity, after then security, then the variety of instances, optimizing the workload of instances will be optimizing the workload. After then uh, global availability zone, the instances are available on various regions and availability zones also. After then, pay as you go. As we can work, we need to pay as per the work. We need to pay on that. After then, memory usage. There will be the memory usage also, and the storage will be like the storage are using the S3 elastic file systems and EBS also. This is the use cases of EC2 and about EC2.
Okay, these are the EC2 instance and features. Okay, so what is the more use cases like for what purpose we will use EC2 instance?
What is the? Sir, please repeat the question.
What is the use case like purpose to use EC2 instance like any application hosting something like that? So can you explain that? What is the use case or
Yeah, the use case will
with
be
regards
if
to the EC2 instance, what we will do with EC2 instance?
uh, yes, we can do with EC2 instance we can deploy our website as per creating the instance, and after then we are using it as a web service, and that make the resizable compute capacity in the cloud. After then, the EC2 gives the service for creating the virtual machines also. Uh, that for that purpose, we are using the EC2.
Okay, you talk about the web services. What about the web service means your website hosting, right?
Yeah,
Okay, any other use cases? So basically, with the regards to EC2 instance, we can definitely, as you said, we can install applications and deploy there, like in installing any web servers, Nginx, Apache, and we can deploy the
mhm,
websites. Okay, that is the one of the use cases. The another use cases
mhm,
will be like your, you can even store your any application data there, logs there, or you can host your
mhm,
MySQL database as well, MySQL, MongoDB, Postgres, MS SQL like that. Okay. So these
yes,
are the different
yes.
use cases where you use that EC2 instance.
Mhm, mhm,
Okay. So second question, like, so when you, let's say you are working for the any real-time project and
mhm,
you get the information like you need to create the EC2 instance. So before
mhm.
creating the EC2 instance, so what information you required or how you get the requirements from the either client or either your technical architect? I mean, how do you choose
So
the right instance size?
yeah, so for that we need to use the first analyzing the workload requirement. After then, understanding the performance requirement and cost considerations also will be there, and testing and benchmarking. So, analyzing the workload requirement is for determining the CPU, memory, and uh, networking needs, and after then, understanding the performance requirement. In this, we need to evaluate the performance compute performance and storage performance and memory uses. After then, for cost consideration, we need to check the balance, performance, and cost constraint. And for testing and benchmarking, we can run our applications on different instance type and compare the performance.
Okay, to answer of this question, how do you choose the right instance size or what things information you require? So basically, first thing is like what kind of application that you need to deploy, like it's a external application or internal application. If it's an internal application, then who will the use, like any target users where internal employee or some client specifically. If this application is required to host like an external application where we can expect lots of traffic there, so based on the lots of traffic consideration we can design that kind of architecture. Like we can take at least higher instance type, right? Because we can predict the more traffic there, like in e-commerce application something or any university results kind of websites, right? And then obviously your storage part, like which storage part, like how many how much storage size required, like 20 GB 30 GB. So if that is not sure like by the client, so you can take minimum hard drive size like 10 GB, because we can increase the hard drive size anytime but we cannot reduce it, right?
Okay.
And security part, like who will access this website. If this website is accessible by public, then obviously you can open the HTTP or HTTPS port for the public network. If this application required access only for the internal service, like internal employee purpose, so in that case we cannot you open that security group port to public world. We can only open for the particular your office network.
Yeah.
And like backup things, how much backup you required, like for last 1 week or something like that. Based on that also you can set up the backup point of view. And do you require any, obviously load balancer and lots of things we will set up as part of the architecture design. But the main thing is like application nature. Is it a internal or external application? If it's a internal application, then we can expect like very less workload. But if it's a external application where people use frequently, so in that case we may require a little bit higher one. So based on that, we can design the auto scaling part, your load balancer, SSL certificate, Route 50, like that, right?
Mhm.
To automatic scale up or scale down.
Okay.
Okay. So what are the checks for EC2 instance? And if anyone checks failed, to how we can resolve that?
Okay, so in EC2 instance, there will be two types of checks. First one is status check, and second one is system status check. The status check is related to operating system, and the status check is related to hardware system. So if the 2 by 2 checks is passed, so that means the our instance and system check both will be passed. If the 1 by 2 check is passed, so it means our instance check will be failed, because if if the check will be failed, so instant check will not able to pass. So that's why for that we need to you reboot the EC2 instance, or otherwise we need to restart the instances.
Mhm.
Stopping the instances first, and after then we need to restart that instance.
sorry, starting or
First we need to stop that instance. If the instance
Mhm.
check is failed, after then we need to restart that instance or reboot that instance.
Okay. So now what is the use case of the security groups and how we configure that inbound rules?
Yeah. First of all, the security group is used for to security purpose as per the instance level, and it works as a virtual firewall for the EC2 instances. And
Hmm.
according as per we go, there will be two types: inbound rules and outbound rules. The inbound rules, by default, there will be no inbound rules. So it the inbound rule work as a the inbound rule which receives the traffic as per the inbound, and outbound rule is used for outage of traffics,
Okay.
which allows the traffics as per the outcomes, and inbound which comes the traffic as per the inbound, means internal purpose.
Okay. Let's say you have added the inbound rules for HTTP packet or let's say a SSH packet, right? SSH port number 22. You have added as a inbound rules. Okay, right? So what will happen?
Hmm. Inbound rule for
Let's say you are working from home and you have added
hmm,
the SSH port number for your IP address.
hmm,
So, and you
hmm,
want to try to connect your that EC2 instance. So what will happen? Will you able to connect that EC2 instance or not?
SSH port 22 as we apply on inbound rule
Yeah.
in
So
EC2.
basically you have opened the
So
SSH port for your network.
hmm, 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 hmm.
So will that
So
able to
no, we are
connect?
yeah, we are able to connect.
Okay. Now second thing is like when you add your inbound rules in SSH, inbound rules in security group, but
Hmm.
you have removed our outbound entry from that security group. So will that still work for your SSH connection?
No,
Okay, how?
because we need to add the inbound rule and outbound rule as same.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, normally we don't touch outbound rules when we work for the anything. If we remove
Mhm.
all traffic from the outbound rules, then whatever the things we are expecting from the inbound rules, that same need to be added in the outbound rules as well.
Yes, sir. My answer
Okay.
is correct. Sir, as I given the answer, is it correct?
Yes,
As you
yes,
asked me
yes.
the scenario.
If
Okay.
you remove the outbound rules, you cannot access to that particular port.
Yes.
Okay. So now coming to the next question. Let's say I am working on one of the applications where my application data is increasing, right? I am using EC2 instance where application hosting is there, but somehow due to the valid data or any logs that I don't want to delete that. Okay. But still EBS
Mhm.
volume getting full, utilizing full. So how I can
Mhm.
increase that EBS volume size without taking any major
Huh.
downtime?
So for that, we need to go to the EC2 consoles and select, and after then there will be the one option, the EBS volume option. So after going that EBS volume option, we need to select that EBS volume. Okay, after EBS volume, we, for okay, so mm, after then we need to increase that volume, and after the increases, uh, means without, sir, please repeat your question. Without taking any downtime, what you need to do
Yeah, so
to increase
basically,
the
if you want
volume,
to
right?
increase the EBS volume size, should we take
Hmm.
take a downtime or we can increase that volume size live?
Yes, sir, we can increase that volume. So
Mhm.
for that, we need to choose that volume. We need to modify that volume, and
Mhm.
according to the operating system. For Linux operating system, we need to use the some files like we need to use some. setting over there. And for
Mm-hmm.
Windows, we are using the disk management tool. So we need to uh, do the settings in both this according to the operating system. After then, we need to resize it.
Okay, okay. So during the instance size, sorry, EBS size increase, uh, do we lose any data there, or it will be a safe?
No, we not lose any data. It will be the same.
Okay,
So for that, we need to use the snapshot also if we want to take the backup. And after then, if we don't want to lose any kind of data, so for backup purpose, we need to use the snapshot. And after then, we need to increase that data.
okay. So there is one more use cases like or you can explain me the difference between EBS volume and instance store volumes.
Yeah. So EBS volume is a persistent store volume. It can be detached and attached to the instances, and is a and as compared to instance store volume, the instance store volume is a physically attached to the host machine, and the instance store volume did in instance store volume the data is retained once the instance is terminated and stopped in a sorry, in EBS volume, the data will be retained when the machine is restart or terminated or stopped. And in instance store volume, the data will be not stored when the instance stop and start. And the EBS volume is used for the critical data storage and databases. And after then, as compared to instance store, the instance store will be like temporary storage,
Okay.
like cache.
Mm-hmm.
This is the difference between EPS volume and temporary store volume. This temporary store volume uh, by default it will be created once we are creating or once we are hosting our EC2 machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So coming to the next one. So let's say I want to take, I have one EC2 instance. I have added the multiple EBS volume there, but I don't want to take complete backup of the server, right? I want to take only the single EBS volume backup. So how I can do that?
Only the one single EBS volume.
Yeah, I want to
So
take.
we need to select that particular volume first, and after
Mm-hmm.
then from that we need to create the snapshot and providing the name of that snapshot. After creating the snapshot, once the snapshot will be completed, so from that we need to create the volume from that particular snapshot and attaching that volume to that particular instance.
Okay. So one more question regards to this EBS volume. So I have created one EC2 instance in Mumbai region. Okay. In Mumbai region, but availability zone 1A. Okay.
Mm,
So now if I want to create one more EBS volume to use it for that EC2 instance. So when I create
mhm,
EBS volume, okay, by mistakenly I
mm,
created volume in availability zone 1B, not in 1A.
mm,
So now
mm,
is
mm.
that possible to attach that created EBS volume to that EC2 instance?
As you created one EC2 one volume in Mumbai
So
region, but
so
availability zone
basically,
is 1A.
yeah, basically the question, let me make it simplified. So I am using
Mm,
Mumbai as a region. Okay.
mm,
When I
mm,
launch EC2 instance, so I created EC2
mm,
instance way in zone A, right?
mm, mm.
but I want to use one more additional drive for that EC2 instance and I want to attach it. But somehow by mistakenly, I created one more EBS volume, which is extra volume drive, but that by mistakenly created in zone B. So will that allow me to attach that zone B EBS volume to zone A EC2 instance?
Yes, sir, we can attach it. We need to go that volume, and after
Mm-hmm.
that we need to choose the volume setting.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, we need to choose the availability zone there. In volume setting, there will be the option availability zone, and we need to change that availability zone in from 1B to 1A, and after then we
Mm-hmm.
need to create that volume.
Okay. So basically,
This,
they're directly not possible because when you're working with the different availability zones, so when you want to attach EC2 instance, okay, when you want to attach EBS volume to that particular EC2 instance, so make sure first check the EC2 instance zone, in which zone you have created the EC2 instance, and based on that only you have to create the EBS volume on the same zone, okay, and then it will be allowed to attach, otherwise it will not allow to attach.
at same zone, we need to create the volume, otherwise it will be not
Yeah,
possible, right, sir?
both should be in the same zone.
Okay,
Yes,
miss.
yes,
Okay, the volume will be in same zone and the instance will be in same zone.
same zone. Yes.
Otherwise, sir, but while we are creating the volume,
Hmm.
so there will be the option like availability zone,
Yeah,
but
option is
it
there,
not
but
possible.
you have to create. Yeah, it's
It,
not possible to attach.
uh-huh.
You have to
Okay.
create in the same availability zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So now coming to the last question of the EC2 instance. Uh,
Mm.
let's say when you create any EC2 instance, you will get by default public IP address, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Also, there is one more concept like elastic IP address. So can you please differentiate between these public IP address and elastic
Yes.
IP address?
Yeah, sir. Once we created the EC2 instance uh, or once we launching one EC2 instance, so by default there will be the public IP created. And the
Hmm.
elastic IP is like a static IP that will be based on our demand or customer demand. If the customer want their IP, don't want to change what the instance is start or stop, for that we are using the elastic IP. That will be the static IP that will be not change, and the public IP will change when the instance is start and stopping. Okay,
Hmm.
and elastic IP will be not change it.
Okay, let's say I have not attached elastic IP address. I have a by default
Hmm.
public IP address. So I'm just rebooting my
Hmm.
EC2 instance. Will that change in that situation?
Rebooting. Yes, sir. Yes, rebooting is like restarting the instance. Yes, sir. The public IP
Yeah,
will be
yeah, but
changed.
in that case, public IP will change.
Yes, sir.
Okay, are you sure?
Uh, I'm not sure, but I am thinking it will be changed
No,
because public
actually,
IP will be
during the
changed.
reboot instance, public IP will not change. Only if you make it a stop and start, then only it will
Mhm.
change.
Okay, sir. I will do that practically, sir.
Yeah, you can just try.
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the load balancer. So basically,
Mhm.
can you explain about the load balancer and the use cases like that? When we need to use load balancer and what is the benefit?
Yes, sir. I will know you the load balancer. First of all, every EC2 machine which holds the limited amount of traffic. Suddenly, where the
Mm-hmm.
traffic is increased, the server will go down. So, okay. So,
Mm.
so the concept of cloud is there will be the downtime for every EC2 machine or every web server to manage that specific amount of limit. So, the EC2 or sir, AWS provide one resources. That resources will be the load balancer. So, the load balancer is used in AWS which receive the traffic and distribute the traffic. And so the load balancer distributed traffic only to the healthy instances. This is the use of load balancer in cloud architecture.
Okay, what are the other benefits?
Other
Or you
benefits
can just explain me
are
like what are how many types of load balancer and their use cases.
uh, sir, sir, I will know you the types only as I work on application load balancer. And the types are application load balancer, gateway load balancer, the network load balancer. Application load balancer is used for application purpose. That will work on HTTP port and HTTPS port. And networking load balancer is related to the network services. And gateway load balancer. Sir, will you please elaborate me this answer?
So there are four types of load balancer, like your classic load balancer, which is the previous generation,
Hmm.
which is now almost depreciate. No one use that, okay? Because that is used for
Hmm.
the that was used for the classic network. So now coming to this
Hmm.
application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer, okay?
Load
So
balancer.
mostly
Hmm.
people use application load balancer for the any kind of applications, okay? Until and
Yes.
unless if you require high throughput and you need to serve lots of traffic, million requests, in that case you can go with the network load balancer. Like for example, you are running for the e-commerce website. So we know that when
Hmm.
we go with the any sales or any event, so we can expect lots of traffic there, right? So in that case, to handle that millions of requests, we can definitely try with the or use with the network load balancer. Okay. In the normal
Okay.
use cases, we can use this application load balancer where we can, there are lots of benefits like we can attach the SSL certificate easily to make the secure website. Then path forwarding option is there, right? You can
Hmm.
make the path forwarding there in the rules basically. And
Hmm.
also there is like if you want to modify any EC2 instance type, then in the load balancer, you can use that as a load balancer feature one by one.
Network load balancer is used for the huge amount of traffics.
Yeah, if you want to
Okay, sir.
handle lots of traffic now, so in that case, that will be benefits.
And what about the gateway, sir?
Gateway we normally use for the third party appliances. We normally never get a chance to work on that, but mostly people use that on the application load balancer and the network load balancer. It's a depend on the
Okay.
use cases actually, project to project.
Okay.
Okay, so now coming to the load, when we are talking about the load balancer, so what is the sticky bit session?
Yes, sir. The sticky bit session is a features uh, that binds the user session to a particular or a specific target groups. Uh, this ensures uh, that all the requests from the user session will routes to the or sends to the same target.
Mhm.
Means in sticky bit session, the load balancer will send the request to one particular target group or one specific target group as per the user requirement.
Okay, we can configure for particular session only.
Yeah,
Okay.
that will give the consistency in required session and using legacy application.
Any payment gateway or something.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm using application load balancer where I have a two, three number of host or instance I have added. But somehow due to any security group configuration changes or any other issues, that load instance gets failed in a health check. So what action will taken care by the load balancer?
So the load balancer will check first which instance having the health check issue. After then, the load balancer will not send a request to that EC2 instance or that any host machine that will allocated inside the traffic target group, and it will check until once the health check issue related to that instance will not recover, and
Mhm.
once it will recover, so the it will send the ping to that particular EC2 machines or that host machine, and after then it will be healthy, so it will route that traffic to that instances.
Okay. So coming to the one more s- scenarios. So what is the pre-warming concept in the load balancer?
Yes, sir. The pre-warming which allows the pre-warming is which allows or which notify the AWS to prepare the load balancer, which handle the huge amount of traffic. This ensures that the load balancer have a sufficient time to which capable or handle the insufficient traffic surge, and which reducing the latency of which reduce the latency and downtime.
Mhm. So how you can just prepare for that?
So for that, for pre-warming, sir,
Yeah, how you can configure the pre-warming?
uh, sir, as I have not applied that, will you
Okay.
please elaborate, sir?
Basically, we need to raise the request to the AWS support team where
Okay.
we need to mention basically so like a particular schedule timing, like let's say tomorrow we are going to announce any results or any some event happening on your website. So in that case, you have to
Mm,
given the proper timeline like this, let's say 1 to 2 p.m. We have a sale is going on live. In that case, we may expect like a 10 lakh traffic or something. So based on the use cases and the expected traffic, you need to give the proper timeline in the message in the email. Okay. And you can raise a
mhm,
request like, can you please increase the load balancer capacity to handle this kind of sudden surge in the network traffic, basically.
mhm.
So in that case, they will from the backend side, they will increase your load balancer capacity. That is the pre-warming concept.
So for that, we need to take a consult with AWS support, right?
We need to raise the
We need
request to,
to we need to raise the request to the AWS support team.
yeah, from the backend side, they will do the settings.
Mhm,
Yeah, because some of the services as a customer, we don't have a full access. So that's the reason we need to raise the request. So from their side, they will do the necessary things, action.
mhm.
Okay. So for the load balancer, just last one scenario based question, like you got the one requirement from the client where you need to deploy one website with the scalable manner and high available,
Mm,
where you can use EC2 instance, load balancer, SSL certificate, Route 53 service. So can you please explain me a little bit about this? From how you can set up these steps?
mm,
I hope you clear my
means
question.
yeah, sir. We need to host one website with auto scaling group, right, sir?
Yes,
With load balancer
with load
with a
balancer,
proper secure manner, right, sir?
secure, high available,
Okay.
scalable.
So first we need to design our VPC. Inside that VPC, we need to deploy the EC2 instances. After we need to create the auto scaling group. After creating the auto scaling group, we need to use the load balancer. And inside the load balancer, we need to inside the target group as we have created, and after then we need to ensure the health check also in that target group. And after then, whatever the load balancer created DNS, we need to use that DNS configuration to the route 53 for our specific domain name. And we need to use the security as a using IAM user. We need to restrict that purpose. And after then, by using CloudWatch, you need to monitor it. By using CloudWatch service, you need to monitoring it. So these are the steps for, or these are the best practices to launching our auto scaling group with by using the elastic load balancer with a proper secure uh, functions.
How many servers you will create?
So as per the requirement, by
Yeah,
default we create the
obviously,
two
obviously, but okay, two. And which region?
as
Sorry, availability zone?
at which availability zone.
No, I mean you create your 2 EC2 instance, right?
Hmm.
So
Mumbai,
both should be
sir,
in,
Mumbai region.
yeah,
Same
Mumbai as a
region, sir.
region.
Both contained. Yes, sir. Both will be in same region, sir.
Yeah, I agree on that. But what about the EC2 instance creation? It will be in the same availability zones or in the different availability zones.
Sir, in same availability zone.
So what if you are keeping this EC2 instance in the same availability zones? If that's data center got collapse or any terror attack or any war situation happen, then how your website will be fault tolerance or high available? If that data center is collapsed, so your website will be complete down, right?
Hmm.
So how you can
Yes,
take care
yes,
that?
yes. Hmm. If the data center will be collapse.
So basically, yeah, I agree that like you are using Mumbai region, but when you are designing two
Yes,
EC2
yes.
instance, both should be in the different availability zones. Because if something goes wrong with zone A, so at least your website will be up and running from the different zone, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm. And for the scalable manner, you can configure the auto scaling part
Mhm,
based on
mhm.
the CPU utilization.
Yes.
Okay, what about the SSL certificate? How you configure that?
Sir, I don't have any idea about SSL.
Okay, so basically for that, AWS provide feature like per domain, they will give the one SSL certificate domain, okay, free of cost. So in
Mhm,
that case, you can
mhm,
use the ACM service, certificate manager service, and you definitely require the one domain registration there in AWS, where you can request
mhm,
by verification method like DNS or email address. You can
mhm,
import the one SSL certificate, and that certificate you can configure in the load balancer.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's all for the today. Next session we
Mhm.
will cover the more services and the Linux part.
Yes, sir.